When people hear the term Ottoman cuisine, a few famous dishes immediately come to mind: baklava, mutanchana, hunkar beyendi, and many others. However, Ottoman cuisine is not limited to just these dishes. In fact, this cuisine is the combination of a vast geography and a rich cultural life that has been shaped over centuries. Within it, there is history, trade, wars, conquests, and the cultural heritage contributed by many different societies. To truly understand Ottoman cuisine, it is not enough to simply read, understand, and apply the recipes that have survived from the past to the present. It is also necessary to understand which cultures influenced this cuisine and how it evolved throughout history. The origins of Ottoman cuisine date back to the nomadic life of the Turks in Central Asia. Turkic communities lived a nomadic life on the steppes of Central Asia, and their dietary habits were largely based on animal husbandry. Meat, milk, and cheese were the main foods of daily life. Foods such as yogurt, ayran, dried meats, and kavurma emerged during this period. These foods later became important elements of Turkish cuisine and daily life today. As a result of the nomadic lifestyle, foods needed to be easy to prepare, portable, long-lasting, and durable. For this reason, methods such as drying, salting, and fermentation were widely used. Foods such as yogurt, ayran, pastirma, and cheese, which still hold an important place in Turkish cuisine and daily life today, are actually a legacy of this ancient nomadic culture. With the migration of the Turks to Anatolia, culinary culture began to undergo significant changes. Anatolia is a geography that has hosted many different communities and civilizations throughout history. From the Hittites to the Romans, from the Byzantines to the Seljuks and the Lydians, many cultures developed advanced traditions in agriculture, housing, sculpture, trade, food diversity, and the emergence of new dishes. Due to the fertile lands of Anatolia, grain production was very common. Wheat, barley, and various legumes formed the foundation of daily nutrition. At the same time, the use of olive oil was an important element of what is today known as Aegean and Mediterranean cuisine. Over time, the meat-based nomadic culinary culture of the Turks combined with the agriculture-based cuisine of Anatolia, and this fusion formed the foundations of Ottoman cuisine. After the establishment of the Ottoman state, the culinary culture gradually became richer and more diverse. As the Ottoman Empire expanded its territories, products and culinary traditions from different regions also became part of this cuisine. In particular, the Balkans, the Middle East, and various regions of Anatolia made significant contributions to Ottoman cuisine. One of the most important factors shaping Ottoman cuisine was geography. Over time, the Ottoman Empire became a vast empire that spread across 3 continents and dominated many different regions. This wide geography included different climates, diverse soil types, various agricultural products, and different culinary traditions. Dairy products and pastries from the Balkan regions became important elements of the cuisine. Grains, legumes, and vegetables from Anatolia formed the foundation of everyday meals. Meanwhile, various spices and rice from the Middle East began to be widely used, especially in the palace cuisine. Another important factor that influenced Ottoman cuisine was trade routes. 2 major trade routes of great historical importance passed through Ottoman lands: the Silk Road and the Spice Route. These trade routes were not only paths used for transporting valuable stones, silk fabrics, and commercial goods, they were also routes through which cultures and culinary traditions traveled. In particular, the spice route allowed spices such as black pepper, cinnamon, ginger, and cloves to enter Ottoman cuisine. These spices were especially used in the palace kitchen to add aroma to dishes, sherbets, and desserts. Thanks to these trade routes, Ottoman cuisine was not limited only to locally produced ingredients. Agricultural products coming from different regions contributed to the diversification and enrichment of this cuisine. Wars and conquests also played an important role in the development of Ottoman cuisine. As the Ottoman Empire carried out conquests in new regions, the culinary traditions of those regions gradually became part of Ottoman cuisine. This process contributed to the development of the cuisine and led to the emergence of new flavors and recipes. In particular, the conquest of Istanbul in 1453 was a major turning point in the development of Ottoman cuisine. After the conquest, the Ottomans encountered the rich urban culture of Byzantium. Within this culture, seafood, olive oil, and various vegetable dishes held an important place. These influences were also reflected in Ottoman cuisine. One of the most important centers of Ottoman cuisine was the palace kitchen. The kitchen of Topkapi Palace in Istanbul was considered one of the largest, most extensive, and most organized kitchens of its time. Hundreds of cooks worked in different sections, and each cook specialized in different types of dishes. Food was prepared not only for the Sultan, but also for the palace residents, the harem, and state officials. For this reason, thousands of portions of food were prepared in the palace kitchen every day. The palace kitchen was also a place where new dishes were developed. Ingredients and products coming from different regions were brought together there, processed with different techniques, and new recipes were created. In the Ottoman Empire, there were clear differences between palace cuisine and the cuisine of the common people. Palace cuisine consisted of richer and more elaborate dishes. Many of these dishes used aromatic spices, dried fruits, almonds, and walnuts. In contrast, the cuisine of the common people consisted of simpler and more practical meals. Grains, legumes, vegetables, and yogurt formed the main components of everyday cooking. Despite these differences, many dishes that were developed in the palace kitchens eventually spread among the public. Many of the dishes we see in Turkish cuisine today were actually developed during the Ottoman period. Desserts also held an important place in Ottoman cuisine. In the palace, there was a special section where desserts were prepared, known as the helvahane. In this section, helvas, sherbets, milk-based desserts, and many other sweets were prepared. In particular, baklava eventually became one of the most famous desserts of Ottoman cuisine. Beverage culture was also very important in Ottoman cuisine. Coffee, which came from Yemen to the Ottoman lands and later became known as Turkish coffee, became an important part of social life in Ottoman society. Coffee was not only a drink, but also the center of conversation and social interaction. When we look at this entire historical process, we see that Ottoman cuisine was actually the cuisine of a vast empire that hosted many different cultures. The nomadic food culture from Central Asia, the agricultural traditions of Anatolia, the spices brought through trade routes, and the culinary traditions of conquered regions all played key roles in shaping this cuisine. Many of the dishes that exist in Turkish cuisine today are the result of this long historical journey. Ottoman cuisine is not merely a tradition of the past, it is also an important cultural heritage that continues to shape modern cuisine. As a result, when we look at Ottoman cuisine, we see not only its dishes, but also a great gastronomic tradition formed by the coming together of history, culture, and many different societies.